Venom number 35 was published 2 days ago with this impressive cover by Ryan Stigman, presenting the finale in Venom Interesting Run by the talented Donny Cates. The book opens with Eddie Brock recalling how he has been fighting his entire life with his father, with his wife, with his job, with Spider-Man and the other heroes of the world, but nothing comes close to the path that has led him here. He has fought Null, the god of the symbiotes. He has died and has been reborn. He has known fear like never before, and has learned how to love, and has found peace in the eyes of his son. But now, with the King in Black defeated, his fight begins again. When Eddie defeated Null, he gained his power, and became the hive mind itself, and became able to pilot symbiotes across galaxy. They speak through him, and he speaks through them. They are everywhere, helping making this universe a better place for living. Eddie controls them from the apartment which Tony Stark gave him as a gift to thank him for defeating Null and saving the world. These last 3 months have been incredible, but haven't been without consequences. Becoming the hive mind for 1 billion life forms around the galaxy was easy for a being like Null, but it wasn't that easy for Eddie, whose new experience as the Mind Hive consumed him and made him age rapidly. It's a price that he pays happily. Even though he can control the symbiotes everywhere in the universe, and even though he can see through 1 billion eyes, through 1 trillion souls, and fight infinite wars, there is no force powerful enough in the universe to control a teenager. But the symbiote is always there to help making the relation easier between old Eddie and his son Dylan. The symbiote cares about Eddie's health and tells him that he needs to rest, as he can't spend that much time connected to the hive. Of all the symbiotes in the galaxy, this is the only one Eddie can't control, track, or see through. He freed it from the hive when he rescued it from Null's clutches. As a result, this makes it the most powerful symbiote in the universe. The symbiote then takes the shape of a dog and goes with Dylan to school. On their way, Dylan asks the symbiote about its name, but the symbiote said that their kind do not have names. They communicate with the host through certain emotional vibration. This emotional pattern is how they distinguish themselves in the collective hive, but it wouldn't be pronounceable by human vocal cords. Dylan asked the symbiote to let him hear its pattern. The symbiote connected to Dylan, who heard the pattern and shed tears. Meanwhile, Eddie met Spider-Man in a diner, where they spoke about Eddie's new experience as the hive mind. Eddie says that he has become omnipresent and not omnipotent, as he doesn't know everything, but can exist in all points at the same time. Spider-Man tells Eddie that he can't help but feel responsible for everything that happened. All of this cause he brought that first symbiote back to Earth, cause he wasn't strong enough. But Eddie said that the symbiotes have been on Earth for over 1,000 years. They fought in Vietnam. They were part of the Weapon Plus program. Even the legend of Beowulf and the Grendel is based on them. Suddenly, Eddie's eyes started glowing, and that was when Spidey tried to steal French fries from his plate, but Eddie slapped his hand away. Eddie explained that he had a meeting with the Avengers, making him present in 2 places at the same time. He then predicted that they would be robbed, and that was when an armed robber broke into the place, but regretted when he saw Spider-Man in there. Spider-Man was about to make a move, but Eddie just threw his walking cane at the robber and released the symbiote, which pinned him to the wall. Eddie explained that the symbiotes are free and not controlled, and that they allow him access if they choose to. Eddie then told Spider-Man that he needs to get back home, as Dylan should be out of school soon. He transformed into a swarm of symbiote bats and flew away, leaving Spider-Man in shock to see how powerful Eddie has become. Eddie can see through the eyes of every symbiote that has ever existed. All doors are open, as there is no place he can't go and nowhere he can't see. His consciousness leaps between moments and history, beyond dimensions. But in all his troubles, and in every dark corner of the galaxy he has sent his mind's eye, there is yet only one being that has escaped him, the Maker. Reed Richards from another universe went insane. He brought a symbiote from his world and used venom to heal it. He augmented his symbiote with biomechanical upgrades and became unstoppable. He disappeared through a dimensional rift before Eddie could catch him, back to his ultimate universe. Eddie met with all the heroes and informed them that the Maker was coming back. He says that the Maker is in contact with a group that calls itself the Council of Reeds. They have a council of interdimensional duplicates of himself. In order to become one of them, the Maker must restore his failed universe by invading the 616 universe. This is a battle Eddie can't fight alone, as it will take all the heroes' power combined to defeat the Maker. Suddenly, Eddie's eyes started glowing, then came back and said that he was in a diner with Spider-Man, who tried to steal his French fries. Captain America then invited Eddie to join the Avengers, but Eddie said that he would prefer to stay home. But if the Maker's invasion comes, he will definitely help. In the meantime, he is fractured, and his mind is in a million places at the same time. Eddie said that Cap needs someone who can dedicate his time to this, who has the needed skills and who can work with a team. Someone like Flash Thompson. Meanwhile, at his high school, Dylan recalled how months ago he was fighting the King in Black and his dragons, alongside Captain America and Eddie. He missed these days when he used to feel important and strong. Suddenly, Dylan was shoved to the ground and turned to see a bully whose name is Kenny McFarlane, or King Kong as everybody used to call him, everybody except Dylan. Kenny tried to pick on Dylan, who wasn't scared of the bully's threats. Dylan told Kenny that he wasn't afraid of him and told him that he knew why he was picking on him, cause he was afraid of Dylan. Before hitting him in the face, Dylan pounded on Kenny, who got his nose and ribs broken. Dylan refused to listen to the voice of reason and continued beating Kenny and was about to kill him when he suddenly snapped out of his delusions and woke up to find himself face to face with the bully who punched him in the face. Later on at the principal's office, the principal told Dylan that he has been involved in many fights in the last few months. Dylan said that it wasn't his fault, as Kenny was the one who started it. The principal said that it seemed that there was so much anger in Dylan. He asked Dylan about home, and Dylan said that everything was great. The principal then asked why Dylan could not stay out of trouble and why he could not stop fighting, and Dylan said that he has been fighting his entire life. Dylan spent the rest of the day walking in the streets for hours, but was still so angry. At this point, he did not really know why he was angry. Was it because his mother gave him away, or his grandfather hurting him, or his father taking his powers away? Suddenly, the symbiote sensed danger and tried to get Dylan away, but Dylan heard a woman screaming and could not ignore that. He ran into the alley to find Jack-o'-lantern trying to steal from a woman. Dylan intervened and told Jack to let her go. The woman managed to punch the distracted Jack and ran away. Jack then pointed his gun at Dylan, asking if he wanted to mess with him. The symbiote then confronted Jack and told Dylan to get behind it. The symbiote attacked the frightened Jack, who shot a bullet, which went through the symbiote and hit Dylan, who fell to the ground. Bleeding out, Dylan told the symbiote that he could not breathe and told it to let his father know that he tried. The symbiote told Dylan that they would tell him together before bonding with Dylan, who transformed into a towering Venom with chains wrapped around his forearms. He attacked Jack, saying that it was nice to meet him, then severely beat him. Later on, Venom came back home, where Eddie was waiting on the roof of his apartment and said that this did not take long. The symbiote separated from Dylan, who apologized and tried to explain what happened, but Eddie told Dylan to calm down. Eddie wasn't mad and said that it doesn't take a god to see this coming. He apologized for not being there for Dylan and said that he knows how angry Dylan has been and how aimless he feels for losing his powers. Eddie wants Dylan to be safe and happy. Happiness might take some time and that's okay. But there is no safer place in the galaxy than with that symbiote. Eddie telepathically thanked the symbiote and asked it to take care of Dylan. And the symbiote said, always and forever. Dylan heard their conversation in his head, and it felt so big to sense things he could not in the past, and said that he wasn't sure if he could do that. Eddie said that he had so much hatred and darkness when he first wore the symbiote. But the symbiote eventually taught him to be a better man. Now, Dylan doesn't have all that darkness, and never let the world beat him down, and he will have something Eddie never had, and that was Eddie himself being close to his son, as they will be stronger together. Eddie then said that he wanted to take a look at the new Venom suit, but Dylan said that it was still a work in progress before bonding with it. Eddie said that it's big, but Dylan said that he wanted to look scary. As for the chains, Dylan said that the whips were played out and that all the cool comic book characters he grew up reading had chains. Dylan then asked his father to use the Venom code name, but Eddie said that Dylan wasn't Venom, nor Eddie himself. He said that they are Venom together, before informing Dylan that there was an explosion in the warehouse district, sightings of the Goblin, and asked if Dylan was ready. Dylan said that he would always be ready, before jumping off the roof, with Eddie calling him Venom. So that was the epic finale of the Venom run by Donny Cates, where Dylan has become the new Venom, with cool chains wrapped around his massive forearms, and Eddie has become a god, piloting the symbiotes everywhere in the universe. In the future, Eddie will work with Dylan, as Oracle works with Batman. Let me know what you think about this book, and don't forget to subscribe, share, and like. Thanks for watching, and have a nice one.